Good morning, City Faith. Just a word of encouragement for you today, and I'd like to take a reading from the New Living Translation Bible this morning. It's in Matthew 14, verses 22. Immediately after this, Jesus insisted that his disciples get back into the boat and cross to the other side of the lake while he sent the people home. After sending them home, he went up into the hills by himself to pray. Night fell while he was there alone. Meanwhile, the disciples were in trouble, far away from land, from a strong wind had risen, and they were frightened about the heavy waves. About 3 o'clock in the morning, Jesus came towards them walking on the water. When the disciples saw him walking on the water, they were terrified. In their fear, they cried out, "It's a ghost." But Jesus spoke to them at once. "Don't be afraid," he said. "Take courage, I am here." Now, the title of my message really is "Don't Underestimate the Power of God." And I want to share with you that we've had the privilege of going on some cruises in our time, and we started off on a very small ship. It was called the Emerald, and it was a ship that they actually used during the war. It was called the Mercy ship. And so we decided then to upgrade a little bit and go on like the bigger cruise ships, which we had the privilege of doing. Now, one of the most exciting things about going on a cruise is when you dock, when you come into a new sort of land and you've never seen or stepped on before. And the amazing thing about that, when you're coming into dock, the exciting part is that you see that, if I can see the picture there, it's a little tugboat, and I've got another picture there of actually a cruise ship with a tiny little tugboat. And that's always amazing to me, that a tiny little boat could actually bring in such a huge ship. So that brought a revelation to me of the power of God and all the situations that we face. No matter how big the things are around us, and we just might feel like this tiny little boat. It's so insignificant. You look at it and you think, really, can that tiny little boat bring in this massive merchant ship or cruise ship or whatever's coming into dock? That tiny little tugboat is so small. Again, you might be able to see it. You probably might not even recognized it, but and this little boat would just bring you through. When the things like around this tiny boat, God will pull you through every storm of life. Don't look at the problem that seems so big, like the big cruise ship there. It looks massive, doesn't it? And that sometimes that can feel like our situations that we're going through. And but then we have that tiny little tugboat there, and I just think that God is your tugboat, and God, being your little tugboat, he will always bring you to safe harbour. Just like the disciples, when I read from Matthew at the beginning, where Jesus said to me that you get in your boat, and he said, "I will see you at the other side." So, just an illustration this morning of how God is, how big our God is, and looking at that is like a reverse thing, isn't it? The problem there is big, but God is the solution to all our problems. He's that tiny little tugboat, that always brings us into a safe harbour. So I hope that encouraged you this morning. I don't know if you've been on a cruise or anything, but if we have the privilege in some time, we were supposed to be going on one this June for my 70th birthday, but like most things are cancelled. But I just look to my God, and he's our safe harbour. So I hope you have a really blessed day, everybody, and whatever you're doing, and remember that God is the solution. As I said this morning, don't underestimate the power of God. Have a wonderful day. God bless you all.